the birthplace of Boogie. We'll get into him in a little bit here. Um, but first and foremost tonight, uh, do you want to? Have you seen the video of inside Stuttering John's house? It's been out
I,
for about 2 weeks. What
I have.
you have?
I have.
Oh yeah, it's quite something. Um, and it's been out for about 2 weeks now. It's made its circulation. But one thing that I find really insane is that John goes through the trouble of hanging all these pictures and having all the nice stuff on the walls. He bought a house for $400,000. I don't know how much of that he of the bill he's actually footing, and how much of that belongs to OSA. But talk about between the cats and then just his general lack of hygiene, he has destroyed that house already.
Yeah, and I guess he stayed at a this is what Anthony said. He stayed at a hotel recently. He brought cats with him, and he got like a fine. I think it was for like 300 something dollars because he basically just let the use the room as a litter box.
Yes, and you can't do that shit. And what happened is, so he's in Tampa. There's a lot of context clues of what might be going on here, because Stuttering John, if you remember, when he did that awful gig at When We Brew the World, he made some sort of one-off comment to those guys that he had just moved to Tampa and that everything was confusing. Well, if the house is in Cape Coral, then why are you living in Tampa? So, there is some speculation going on that OSA does not want John in the house, has effectively seen what he has done to the home. And now, yeah, it looks like he might be backpacking it in some
Yeah,
shit motel in Tampa.
and he also I mentioned this I think a couple of shows ago, but he attempted to get Anthony fired from his WABC gig, and it didn't work out.
No, no, not at all. Just another, just another waste of his time. Um, you know, John could be doing so much with his time. I mean, honestly, he's had opportunities to get real jobs. He's squandered each and every one of them. Um, he has an opportunity now. I guess. Okay, he's been getting stand-up gigs in Florida. He's been a lot more active as a stand-up comic since he left California than when he was living in California. He had seemingly no inroads in comedy at all in Los Angeles. So now that John's doing shit, this is the time to quit podcasting. When you're finally in a place where you can get more gigs, you bow out here.
Yeah, if you wanted to do the podcast thing, you could have done it like twice a week and then prioritize, things that will actually make you money.
Well, that was the problem. Is that the only way that John was going to make money on a podcast is, as we've said before, as long as he was being insulted for $2 to $3 at a time. Now, obviously, he can plug his stand-up gigs. He's working around Florida. I could see John being rather profitable down in Florida, simply because that's kind of where all the boomer comics are. So um, it's most certainly worth a shot for him to sort of reinvest in his comedy career. Maybe get some nice clothes. Maybe retire the squeegee bit. Maybe get his hair professionally dyed. Perhaps wear a suit jacket on stage that fits. You know, just little critiques that
Maybe
I've seen
throw
in
him in a
Stuttering John's act.
sauna to sweat out the alcohol.
Maybe not do bits about your wife giving birth since your last child was born in 2006. I
Johnny,
mean,
this is the same guy that had inappropriate questions written for him that he would go up and ask celebrities said questions. I'm
I mean,
not surprised he's talking about his wife giving birth on stage.
well, you've heard the bit, right? It's really bad
I
because
have.
she enters into this scenario. For those who don't know John, for those who are just at a comedy show, and looking to watch some live performing, the whole thing is kind of it's just this fucking mess of thrown together things. And as you know, okay, in John's book, which was already highly outdated by the time it came out, we've talked about this book before.
Oh, that's
uh,
amazing.
and the fact that he's trying to make a one man show out of his book now.
For the
A
fact
book.
he wrote a book.
Well, we all know, easy for you to say. It was already outdated and riddled with lies and half truths and just it's written really corny. Like, I don't know who wrote it for John. I take it he didn't write it himself. But it's just really corny. It's just some of the worst material that I've honestly ever heard. And he doesn't update anything. He doesn't keep up with the Joneses and try to make it seem like this act is, within the last at least decade, instead of realizing that he has a 30-year-old act that
Yeah.
he's still trying to pump for whatever's left of it. Whatever blood is left in the dilapidated veins of this fucking bit is what John is suckling, I suppose.
You would think for someone who's Puerto Rican and Danish that you would have quite a bit of material with that alone.
But Adam Bush made a good point the other night, Jim. John, okay, I take it that he was just a typical white American kid who grew up in Long Island. And his father, yeah, his father was Puerto Rican, but his father was an engineer. He worked all the time. They were Puerto Rican Catholics, but I mean, that's really the extent of it. His mom is Danish. Okay, fine. That means she's just a white chick from New York. I don't buy any of this. I don't believe when we listen to old episodes of the Stern Show. Okay, you don't hear John going on about his heritage and how Puerto Rican he is and all. That was something that he adapted post Tonight Show.
Well, to be fair, even if he brought it up, you saw he was treated on the Stern Show. Howard ain't gonna let him talk about that shit.
No,
Howard would have shut that down.
right, and the only time he did bring it up, if you remember when he wrote that song for Howard,
Yes.
the poor little Jew boy thought he was a coon. And then once Howard and Robin said, what the fuck is this, John? He goes, oh, I was called names too. It's just bullshit. It's just this run of the mill. You know what just hit me? I think what it is. When John left the Tonight Show, he realized that shit had finally hit the fan for him when he was fired. And he knew post divorce, the only way to have this movie career that he thought he was going to have was if he lived it up. So he had to say, oh, I was of a Puerto Rican and a Danish household, and I'm all of this stuff. But what's even stranger about that is he takes the most politically incorrect route when discussing his Puerto Rican heritage.
See, I believe he's Puerto Rican and Danish. I just don't think he's smart enough to lean into it.
Right, he's about as okay. Look, I'm like Italian and Irish and German or whatever. I'm just some dude that grew up in Maryland. Okay, like Jimbo here. I mean, allegedly he's Italian. He's just some fucking guy in Nebraska. If he got on stage talking about how his grandmother used to make like a a galamad or something, he's full of shit. It didn't actually happen. This is where Stuttering John is at this point in his life. Like he wasn't raised by the Puerto Rican grandmother. He doesn't have any of these stories. And if he did, would he be as like as racist and as dismissive about his Puerto Rican ism as he is on stage? Like he has that joke about how, oh, I had 3 kids. I'm a Puerto Rican disappointment. Like, what is that supposed to mean, John?
I think that would have been funny if it was said by someone who's actually funny, but yet again, this is Stuttering John.
But you don't get the joke, Jim. The joke is that Puerto Ricans have a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And
Why do you think they need? Why do you think they need boats and rafts when they come over? You see, that would have been funny if he added that in there, but he's not smart enough to do that.
Yeah. Oh, right,
But he's not the first person to kind of like lie about their even if he did lie about the ethnicities, I can't bash on him too hard because he's not Carlos Mencina. Carlos Mencina got away with faking that, faking being Mexican when he was actually half German, half Honduran.
Right, and his name was like Alvin or something. Yeah.
His name was Ned Holness.
Right, yeah. Something ridiculous.
Yeah, it was Ned Holness. And I remember this because back when Joe Rogan ripped into people for stealing jokes more. The last time I saw Carlos Mencina, he was on the he talked to that. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but it's PDB, runs Value Payment.
Yes.
He was on there, and that guy was like grilling him on like the joke thief stuff, which is really bad that that's your entire legacy, that you're pretty much a joke thief.
Well, yeah. Ned Holness, Ned Arnell,
Yep.
Arnell Holness was his name.
Yep.
But anyway, at least John Melendez, that is his name. Okay, he is.
And at least he did make a career. Well, a career was made for him out of stuttering, and he does stutter. So
right, but when he's on stage.
Yep.
It's a lack of substance, Jimmy. Like he's saying, yes. I'm Puerto Rican and Danish. I steal clogs.
Yet again, if someone funnier said that, it probably would have been funnier. But it's
the Dutch are known for clogs, not the Danes.
I know. I'm just.
And then he says, I'm Puerto Rican and Danish. I'm a dick.
Look, you go to these comedy shows and you see this guy on stage, and you're like, isn't this the guy who sweeps at the end of the night? Why is he telling jokes now? Oh, he's the headliner? Oh, shit.
Right. It's very jarring seeing John. But anyway, we will go ahead here. Do you have any? Because it's a long video, and Boogie is just living his minute life down there in Arkansas.
I can give a quick TLDR or a quick rundown if that's what you want.
So So what's happening? What's happening with this first clip?
So I went with H3 because I really do not want to give Locale Live any more views, but the gist of it was Keemstar had this guy do a background check on Boogie, and somewhere in that background check, I believe it was like 1984 or 6. I guess he killed someone. I think it was involuntary manslaughter is what it was.
And how exactly did he kill this guy?
I think it was he was driving. I think he hit them or something like that. But I don't know why you wouldn't call it vehicular manslaughter at that point. So I'm not sure.
And Boogie never served any time for this?
I can't remember if he was like ruled. I can't remember if they ruled it not guilty or something like that. I do know it went to trial though.
Well, we'll go ahead here and cut in and see what's happening with this.
check done on Boogie, and
Okay, first one, Kim, it's not background checked. He says he got a background checked.
He said background checked, and then he said backroom checked.
check done on Boogie, and it found some insane shit.
King, this is not something we should be talking about on the air. Do you understand how this can genuinely fuck up my life? Like, I'm the guy who just a few years ago fired a gun in his neighborhood. I just got off of probation. I just got...
Okay. Hold on. So you can go on probation in Arkansas for firing a gun?
So you don't know this, so I'll give quick context for those who don't know. So there's a guy called Frank Hassel who was trolling Boogie. He actually showed up at Boogie's front doorstep, which I don't care if it's Boogie, Keem, or whoever. You don't do this. Well, Boogie decided to, after Frank didn't want to leave, rather than call the cops, Boogie decided to take out a firearm. And at one point, he shot a firearm in the air, which he got jailed for, and that's why he's on probation, because he, it's something discharged, like you're not
So you're
supposed
not
to.
allowed to protect yourself in your home in the state of Arkansas.
Well, he shot a gun up in the air, and he lives by a school zone. It's like just shooting it. You can't do warning shots. No warning shots.
Yeah, because Boogie would have shot off that warning shot, and it would have hit a kid and killed a kid with a stray bullet, and then you would have Boogie, up until trial, until he would have inevitably went to jail. You would have had Boogie defending this and saying how somehow he didn't kill the kid.
Yeah. Now, if Boogie had just had the firearm on him and just waited for Frank to assault him, that would have been different. But he decided to not even brandish the firearm, just outright pull it out and just say, "Is this how we want this to go?" Now, yet again, I don't think this Frank Castle guy should have showed up in person. You don't do this because had Boogie decided to point the gun at Frank and shoot him instead, it would have went completely different.
Right, but luckily for Frank, that was the very first time that Boogie ever held a gun. So I think we're good there. Let's go ahead back and let's hear Boogie having a temper tantrum over allegedly killing a man.
Well,
and that's
even before the it's just a background check in general.
Right, but that's a big thing. Okay, this isn't like a minor little drug charge, or maybe there was a domestic dispute years ago, and he can explain himself out of it. If he indeed killed somebody, I don't know if I'm quite prepared to hear Boogie explain how. I'd love to know how somehow or another he was the victim in murdering another person.
I just know that the well has been way past dried with the cancer arc. So right now they're doing this, and they have this fat camp thing going on. We'll address in another clip.
Because he doesn't have fucking cancer. This is Boogie.
No.
Oh man, and I get that Keem has to continue churning as much content as humanly possible out of Boogie, because if not, there's no real reason of keeping him around. He doesn't add anything positive to the product.
It adds something positive for Keem. Keem looks really good in comparison to Boogie, even though Keem's a lolcow.
Well, that's what I mean. Keem keeping Boogie around is like keeping around Luca Brasi, because he'll cut off the horse's head. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's no other reason for Keemstar to have anything to do with Boogie. But here we are.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'll be right back.
All right. This was mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah.
This is not a green screen.
The whole time we thought that was a fake background. Or at least I did.
No, it's just home theater.
What the hell?
He has a home theater.
I just thought it was like a plate.
Oh, okay. Everybody, Ethan really adds nothing to these shows. Holy fuck.
Boogie, I mean, what the
art,
hell?
dude? They're making art here.
4 hours, though. Did it stay good for 4 hours?
Well, there's a reason it's cut down to 13 minutes.
Discord now. What are you doing? I'll be super nice. Keemstar's being an abusive father. Fucking Christ. Such a fucking baby. There's enough bullshit I've had to deal with today. Boogie, turn on your camera. I'm working on it, motherfucker. What the fuck? Why is it not?
We know there is a tell that when Boogie begins to cuss, it's because he has no defense.
Go ahead, sorry.
When Boogie starts to cuss, when Boogie starts to pretend that he has technical difficulties, when he begins to backtrack, when he begins to do these things, Jimmy, I've noticed this is when Boogie knows that it's not going to go well for him. So he has to pretend that he's being bullied even before the conversation begins.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I'm checking Carlos Mencia's website. I'll have you know he is booked all over the country through December of this year.
Is he anywhere close to me?
Give me a second here.
I don't encourage heckling, but I just might make it.
Yeah, there you go, Jimmy.
Fair.
If you can make it up April 3rd, if you want to make it up to the Ellsworth Air Force Base, he will be in Box Elder.
Fuck, that's next weekend.
Yeah, there you go. So while you're there, you can stop by that little strip club that's up there and see Carlos Mencia.
I don't encourage heckling, but in that case, if there's a comedian I would really like to heckle, it'd be that guy.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he's doing his own material now. He's performing just to he's just doing small clubs, air faces,
original,
whatever he can get,
like the name,
and fucking yeah.
All new fucking buttons. What the fuck, motherfucker? I didn't sleep last night because of this shit.
Okay.
You're right. Here he is, already making himself a victim.
Right, exactly. I didn't sleep all night. He's already firing out of a cannon. What's really funny is, okay, so Jimmy, is this the room that he was shirtless in front of all of the ping pong machines? Or was that his living room that he has more of them?
I think it was his room.
Oh, God. Well, the room keeps changing. Is he still in the same house?
I didn't research that far, because honestly, compared to another person on their show right now, Boogie, outside of the involuntary manslaughter shit, is looking kind of good.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying anything about that. I mean, I take it this is the same house.
I would presume so.
I feel like he's had that same house more or less since he's been on the internet, frankly. So we'll go ahead and just listen to Boogie here, because he's already starting in. He's firing off like a cannon. All of a sudden, I didn't sleep all night. It's not because you're 400 pounds and incredibly unhealthy that you're having issues sleeping, Boogie. It's
sleep apnea.
Right, exactly. It's not the mask that's on your ever-growing face that's causing you issues sleeping.
Didn't sleep last night because of this shit.
You know what's also really funny about Boogie?
He looks like Eric Cartman.
This will ruin my fucking life.
I have noticed this for a long time. Boogie is a wide man. We've been through this whole thing before. He is a gargantuan bitch. But his arms get smaller and smaller the wider he gets. You notice that?
Well, yeah, because he's slowly but surely becoming a planet. Soon he's going to have his own orbit.
I mean, look at those chicken arms on this rotisserie body.
What? Why? What's in the background? Because I'm the guy who cried fucking wolf. I'm the one with the fucking liar tattoo on his goddamn fat fucking face. So you.
Okay, right. So hold on a second.
God, I remember the stupid punishments. That was such a bad tattoo.
He's got liar tattooed on his face because it's questionable whether or not he actually has cancer.
Well, no, that's why he got the tattoo on his face, but because he lied about it. But that tattoo was like faded away or was put in such a bad place. I remember EFAP going Keemstar about that.
because it's on his face and it's probably gonna fade. Not to mention, okay, when does Boogie not have a beard?
Well, on top of that, I mean, okay, let's say that you're doing this podcast with me and you find out that in the future I embezzled money, like I did some criminal thing. Are you going to tell me, Jimbo, I need you to go to the local tattoo parlor and get I'm a fraud tattoo on your forehead? No! Are you insane?
I mean, it's also it's isn't even a real tat.
No, it wasn't. That's why you got grilled for it. It was
Right,
so bad.
It's some henna nonsense.
Yeah, basically it wasn't permanent, which is the problem. You can't promise people that this is going to be some severe punishment, because if that's a permanent tattoo and Boogie had to wake up and on his forehead see liar, I mean, that would have been a punishment. But instead we got the type of tattoo you get at the fucking carnival. It fades away within days.
Right, it's a little henna tattoo on like the fat of his cheek. But anyway, let's listen to him scream.
You accuse me of anything, then I'm going
to be... So he's coming out of bat out of hell so violently that the headphones just fly off his big stupid face.
All new fucking buttons. What the fuck? Motherfucker, I didn't sleep last night because of this shit. Why won't you have this conversation privately, man? Why are we having this publicly? This will ruin my fucking life.
Why? Why? What's in the background?
Because I'm the guy who cried fucking wolf. I'm the one with the fucking liar tattoo on his goddamn fat fucking face. So if you accuse me of anything, then I'm gonna be fat.
So he's fat. Oh, I'm fat.
I have to address something else that he says here that's really funny. He says, this could ruin my life, as if your life already wasn't ruined. Like, you lied about, like, about a year ago, you lied about cancer. You were
Boogie's life has been going downhill for several years.
Like,
now.
the week that I started moving into my place is when that really started to pick up. That was the same week where Destiny decided he wanted to make that cool tweet. Like, that was a crazy week. I was just like, the first week at my new house, Boogie is exposed for lying about cancer. Destiny gets banned off of Twitter. What a fucking world I live in.
Right, yeah. Insanity.
So I always find that line of my life could be ruined to be comedic gold, because it's like, your life is ruined. You're a joke now. Or you've been a joke for a while.
Right. Good God.
I'm fucking guilty. All you gotta do is accuse me of something. If you said I fucking shot Desi in her goddamn head and she was standing behind me, people still fucking believe it. There's no fucking recourse for me anymore. I have no fucking credibility, and you fucking know it. And you want to have the conversation in the air, it's gonna go fucking viral. Everybody's gonna fucking think it's real.
Dude, I gotta say, these guys fan their calling.
Oh, yeah.
This man just had the monologue of a lifetime.
Love said it well. Love said that Francis and Boogie have now become one.
Oh. Okay, go back to this.
While you're digging for that, I really have to point out that whose fault is it that they don't have credibility anymore?
Right.
And look, you're gonna act like with little to no credibility left, you really think going to Keemstar of all people is a smart idea?
No, I wouldn't take that to be a smart idea at all.
You're letting Keemstar scream at you and put you through hell for about $2,000 a month. Like, your mortgage is paid, basically. And then you rely on YouTube on the back end to pay for everything else.
Right, and I don't know what the cost of living down there is in Arkansas, and I also don't know how much money. So Arkansas, by the way, do we have any updates on this chick?
Desi?
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't look into it. I think they're still together.
Because I know that, because I was going to say that she still doesn't have a job.
Well, a lot of people are thinking that at the rate things are going, that Boogie's going to put her up on OnlyFans, and, well, I hope that's not true.
I mean, I would feel sad for the poor girl. I only ask this because, Arkansas now has medical marijuana, so I don't know if she was a patient or if Boogie was still making those road trips for her. There's a lot of weirdness and a lot of desperation with Boogie. And he tries to come on here and immediately give the waterworks, but we're about to find out what's happening here.
It sounds pretty unhinged, yeah.
Well, I mean, you could do.
Hold on a second here. Oh, right.
I wish Ethan could
trying
just
to
put
find
timestamps in his videos, man.
Who?
Ethan.
He doesn't?
I don't think so. I wish he did. Because so they give people the general gist. Keemstar is able to.
I'm just gonna pull up Locale Live. I have no time for fucking Ethan.
Damn.
Links his private life, which the moderators yelled at him about. All right. His second strike was sharing Purple Hair's nudes in the Discord, which he would have been banned right away if it was like revenge porn or whatever. But Purple Hair is like an adult worker, so those are publicly available. But still, we don't want you doing that dumb shit in our Discord. And then the third thing that he got in trouble for was doing a full-on background search, which he paid money for, on Boogie. And then you fucking what? You did the same goddamn thing? What? Or you believe in this motherfucker? Did you look it up yourself? What the fuck, man? So I reached out to Dom and I unbanned him from the server temporarily. You're gonna believe this dumb motherfucker? You brought this dumb motherfucker in. This guy's a fucking retard. He's a fucking troll. Fuck you, Dom.
See, this is what I mean, Boogie.
Oh, my bad for just doing something because you're a liar.
Fucking delete yourself.
This is what Boogie continues to do. Boogie will scream and holler and cuss and make derogatory statements about people, and
he just told someone to delete themselves.
Know how to carry a healthy argument.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Fucking Boogie.
Motherfucker, you're a piece of shit. You're the fucking liar. You know you're fucking lying. TOS. And I mean, of course, in Minecraft. And Dom, what did we find in the background check? Just be clear.
So what I found was back in 1989, you were accused of committing involuntary manslaughter in Pound, Virginia.
Albert brought this shit up to me almost 6 fucking months ago. It was bullshit then. It's bullshit now.
I never brought it up to you then.
Where the fuck did you find it? Where did you find it on Kiwi fucking Farms? You see a screenshot? No. Screenshots can be doctored.
Here it is.
Here it is, everybody.
I know they can be, but
don't fucking dox me any worse than I already fucking doxed. What are you fucking sharing?
This isn't a
doxing. It's public record, you idiot. That's not doxing,
you know what doxing? Okay, what's worse? Showing a public record on a show in where you committed manslaughter against a guy, or parading your mentally ill 20-year-old girlfriend in her bra and underwear in your stupid fucking sketches.
Yeah, and to explain to people what doxing is, this isn't doxing because it's public record. Anyone can pull it up. Doxing is if you take something like that is private. Like if Johnny, for example, decided to take my address and leak it, that would be doxing.
I don't even think I have your address.
No, but you get the idea.
Digress. So this motherfucker has an involuntary manslaughter felony in Wise County, Virginia.
Yes. Boogie, were you in Wise County? Yes, I lived in fucking Wise County. Okay. And I got a case number. What the fuck is this? All this. Why are you saying fucking doctors, man?
No, I didn't doctor anything. I looked up on the
You're
Virginia
a fucking
State.
liar.
Boogie, let me ask you a question.
That's my fucking address, man.
Boogie.
You put my address on the fucking screen.
Boogie, what's your middle name?
Wait. Oh shit! There you go. So if you want to send a special something to Boogie, there's his full address right there.
Yep.
Jason.
Okay. And you're 50 years old, right?
Yes, I was born in 74. I can read
I got the case
What
number.
the fuck is this?
All
Because
this.
Boogie just screams. He screams himself into admission, and I want you to hear this again.
Why are you
This
saying?
is fucking doctors, man.
No, I didn't doctor anything. I looked up on the Virginia
You're a fucking
State.
liar.
Boogie, let me ask you a question.
That's my fucking address, man. You
Boogie.
put my address on the fucking screen.
Boogie, what's your middle name?
Jason.
Okay. And you're 50 years old, right?
Yes, I was born in 74. I can read the fucking thing.
And you live here, right?
Why are you fucking doxing me?
Dude,
you're accusing me of murder and doxing me? What the
your
fuck,
address
man?
is public.
Involuntary manslaughter.
Your address is
public, right? Because you once you have a criminal record. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure if I wanted to search up your address right now, Jimmy, I could probably find it. But I'm not
Probably.
going to put it out there.
No, because at that point it would still be private. If you put that out there, that's doxing.
Right, but the reason that Boogie's is out there in the open is because he has committed a crime.
I'm just making the statement that when he says that he's being doxed, it's inaccurate because it's a public record. Like anybody can search it and it's public. It's when it's private and it surfaces to public. That's doxing.
Holy shit. Oh, yeah, it's wild. Oh, but Boogie.
Public. Okay.
I know, but
Your
God
address
damn it,
is already
King.
public. Okay. What else do we have here?
I love
we have previous
We have to. I wish
addresses.
I wish I could zoom in here on Boogie's face. You know the face where he knows that he's not going to be able to scream or threaten or curse his way out of anything.
Well, that and like with the whole cancer situation, he can't provide any counter evidence here, or he can't claim that he actually has the documents since this is all public.
Right.
With the cancer stuff, he could hide behind the fact that he had the information private, it was on an app and all this other stuff. But here, he can't hide behind that. It's all public. So his other defense is just to yell and scream because he doesn't know what else to do.
Oh, but
Your
God
address
damn it,
is already
King.
public. Okay. What else do we have here? We have previous addresses. Did you live at these?
That top one is obviously mine. I lived at the second one. Yes, I lived at the third one. Those are all my fucking old addresses.
So Boogie, so you have a criminal record. Like this
Yes.
is why all of this is here.
And when you have a criminal record, it becomes public information.
Okay, so tell us about the fucking involuntary manslaughter
There fucking
that
happened one. I'm not
happened in
gonna say fucking shit. I'm not gonna say
1989.
shit about some. What the fuck are you talking about?
Bro, it's
I'm not
right
gonna fucking
here.
say shit. I'm not gonna say shit.
It literally says you were not guilty or acquitted or whatever the fuck this was. So what do you care?
I fucking care because what. King, God damn it, man. This is some fucked up shit. This is some fucked up shit. I don't want to talk about it. It's some fucked up shit, dude.
All right, thank you, Dom. Oh, and by the way, Dom,
Yeah.
you looked into links, which is not cool. You shared Purple Hair's nudes, which is not cool.
Never did.
And you're
I
doing
never shared.
you're doing background checks on Boogie, which is also not cool. And you're the one that told Becky like where Psycho Mom worked. So you're banned on the Discord.
I never did that.
You're banned on the Discord,
I never
buddy.
did that.
Sorry.
I never did that. Half those things you're
Sorry. We got to ban you.
Me, this isn't.
And Keemstar is a fucking smarmy bitch too, because
No, he's been slimy his whole career.
After he gets dirt on Boogie, he has to say, "Oh yeah, by the way, you know, you're out of the."
Thank you for conveniencing me on my end. Now I got to get rid of you.
Right.
So just because I would like to move on to the next thing, because that's going to take a bit of time, Keem is able to get Boogie to confess to the whole thing, and it's the whole situation.
Yeah, and then
Let's get into the wings thing. So that was
boy.
so this was something. So this was something I was expecting to like come across. I was just researching the Boogie stuff. Then I saw the wing shit, and I was just like, holy shit.
So give us a backstory on old Wings. He's another big boy.
Okay. So Wings' story is a little more tragic than Boogie's. Just the general gist is he was all, like raised by his grandmother and all this other shit. Kind of fell into the obesity category. Tried to do some boxing to get the weight off of him, but he basically, if you're a troll and you want to find a content creator to troll, Wings is like the troll's wet dream, because Wings just keeps giving the reactions. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, okay.
So the context of the video here is that they're at this thing called Fat Camp. Well, in the midst of Fat Camp, Wings starts to crash out, because suddenly crashing out is the new retro term for raging. Decides to fight Keemstar, then push his wife. And it was bad enough to where YouTube suspended his channel. Now, Keemstar did fire him, but given that Keemstar has fired Boogie like 5,000 times and has fired other people, air quotes, I don't think he fired Wings. If he actually did, I'd be surprised. Keemstar does this thing to where he'll fire people weekly to keep the show alive, because he understands that the show is kind of just... It could go at any moment, given how shit it is. So if he actually fired Wings, I'd be surprised.
Right. But we're gonna go ahead here, and we won't watch this entire thing, but we'll get into this a little bit.
Right. Wings has to do a punishment.
Who's this other big boy over here in the blue?
I think his name is... I think he goes by Billy the Fridge.
Billy the Fridge.
I
So
think.
all of these physical specimens. So Keemstar more or less surrounds himself with just fat, pathetic people.
I do you one better. He surrounds himself with mostly trailer park trash, for lack of a better term.
I mean, I don't know where Wings lives, but I mean,
Wings, I think, lives in if not Arkansas, it's pretty much the same type of environment as Boogie, so that's why I say the trailer park trash.
Fayetteville is a nice. I think Boogie might actually live in a nice little quiet neighborhood.
Well, I'm just saying
not
Boogie's
100%
upbringing is what I was going at.
Oh yeah, I get what you mean.
Like you even when it's that like, I'll give you an example. I might live in a sort of decent place, but I still act like, maybe not ghetto, but you can tell that I was raised in the streets and shit.
Right.
Like you could tell. Like,
but I mean, yeah.
Like, you know where I'm from is the point.
Right. But I get what you mean. Yeah, exactly. And he tends to surround himself with those sort of people.
It's an ego thing. You surround yourself with people to make yourself feel better, but once you're in a room with actual competent people, the reality is that Keemstar is a lol cow who wrangles lol cows.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just these white trashy, big fat guys that don't really have a whole lot going for themselves. So Keemstar feels like he has to come in and give them some purpose, I suppose.
For what?
What do you mean for what?
Well, what you implied. Because now look, even
Even if you punch me, they're going to believe what I said over what you guys are
yeah, the
saying.
team needs sustenance in the form of comedy. From
Yes.
We don't script anything on the show. We do improv.
They might all
Just like the other day when you could see like the tow hook Oreo on the back of the car.
Yes, that was staged, but the Becky stuff wasn't, and that's what they all think now.
That's not even staged. That's just like, all right, we have this car. What can we do with the car?
Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, yeah, that what I'm saying is they think the Becky situation is the same as the car situation.
He is full on retarded.
How am I full on retarded?
It's like
And how? Okay, so in Keem, by the way, that's not how you whisper something to someone. You don't.
Well,
just in
and
their direction.
you know, Johnny, the point of that was he wanted Wings to hear it.
Oh, well, obviously.
But I have to do this thing quickly. Yeah, Nicholas DiOrio did some videos about this, and I'm glad he did. Yeah, the reason why people think that most of Lolcow Live is fake is because you guys do clickbait titles, and there's just a bunch of other like bad shit. Like that time where they did a video saying that Boogie's girlfriend cheated on him. It turned out that whole situation was fake. And I don't care, Keen, you can jump up and down and say that it was real. No, it wasn't real. You guys script stuff because if these guys actually just spoke about normal shit, it would be fucking boring. Who's going to go to Keemstar to listen to the news?
Because they also have nothing going on. It's, Boogie, the days that Boogie can come on the internet and be Mr. Rogers and ask people about their day and talk about his life. Well, first of all, we know that if he's telling us about his day and anything positive happens in it, he's lying. But he's also never going to be beloved ever again. He's never going to be given the benefit of the doubt to come on and make happy-go-lucky content and do little Francis fucking clips that people don't find that have a little bit of truth in it. Because that's the thing, is that when Boogie is trying to make a joke, he's telling the truth. And then when he's screaming and hollering, it's when he's projecting and lying. So it's all over the place now.
Yeah.
And Boogie has no way to ever regain what he had as a YouTuber. I don't even know if the term YouTuber is a thing anymore, to be quite honest with you.
Well, he's a YouTuber, but he's just not like a YouTube celebrity.
And again, I don't even know, who is a YouTube celebrity anymore? Rhett and Link? Mr. Beast? Like who is actually
Moist Critical, Some Ordinary Gamers.
We consider these people YouTubers, but who are the actual celebrities anymore? You know what I mean? That's a rough question.
Well, I mean, are we talking about celebrities who lost their star? Because Boogie, for better or for worse, is technically a YouTube celebrity. He's just crashed out from what he used to be.
Speaking of crashing out, okay, which one of these three is first to have a heart attack?
In this video, it's probably Wings, considering he's the one that gets the most violent.
I've just never seen a lineup of more unhealthy people. Holy shit. Hey, where is this, by the way? Where is this retreat house?
I'm trying to remember. I honestly didn't look into it. Like, the Boogie, the Lolcow Live stuff is interesting, but terribly uninteresting at the same time.
The strength of that couch is very interesting, I have to point out.
remember at the meeting, right? When we had the meeting, and he goes, "If anyone doesn't get this, they just don't know common sense."
True OGs in
You
here.
have to sit right here.
Much love and respect that can't be taken away. Becky won't ever understand the respect.
Wings sucks.
It's not even about Wings sucks. The whole fact that y'all wanted to script it sucks. Why didn't you just be real?
It
He's a
was just
psychopath.
better to act like her walking in the room was a surprise, right? Which her coming technically was a surprise, right?
The joke was on Super Chat at $26.09.
You just gotta
These
out
are the
everything.
abuse. Wings your bald boogie.
So these fat guys are yelling back and forth at each other for a while.
Well, to be fair, this is probably the most quiet I've seen Boogie in a video.
Yeah,
Like, he is genuinely quiet.
Boogie, well, because he doesn't have to play up for anybody.
Well, he's not at the center of any controversy, or there's not anything crazy going on here.
Right, exactly. The only time that Boogie has something to add is when he has to defend himself.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Slept with your dad.
What's the point of outing everything? Okay, whoa, we changed one little detail just to make it a little bit more entertaining. And then you out everything just to make everything look fake. Like, why?
Because I don't believe everything.
I sure hope somebody. And what's so crazy is that, I say I sure hope somebody cares. There's 347,000 views on this. Okay? So while we sit with double, Tostitos, they have almost 400,000 people.
To be fair, it's basically the Jerry Springer treatment. Basically, people are watching this downfall.
Oh, of course, and most people who were fans of Boogie back in the day that are rediscovering him in this awful context, chances are have no idea who Wings is, so they're just sort of they're falling into that world as well.
I'm gonna say this: I'm gonna say the people watching for certain know who Wings is because of Boogie. Basically, with the whole lolcow stuff, basically discovering one lolcow is like it's like a domino. You discover one and you discover the whole lot.
But it's just these guys who, at least I'll say with lolcow live, there's always something to bitch at Boogie about. There's always something to get into, something happening with Wings.
I mean to a point, but I mean, how much longer can you really run a show like this?
Well, that's the thing. I truly don't know.
And that's kind of like, for me, I don't see it going in about 5 years, maybe less.
5 years? You're being generous.
I know, that's why I'm saying I'm surprised I'm being charitable.
The show can last, because this is another example, and maybe we're being hypocritical today because we've been kind of just looking at stuff. But this is another example of a show that really isn't a show. They're not really talking about anything. In the beginning, they were. In the beginning, it kind of felt like here's this edgy, sort of cutting edge comedy show where we all make fun of each other. We're all lolcows, and we're going to be ironic about it. And then, of course, you get into the fact that Wings' life is a fucking mess, and Boogie's life is a fucking mess, and Keemstar is a twat, and there's this chemistry that never was really there. You're kind of just watching a car crash, and I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to put up with this, especially now that we know that all this bullshit is staged, and everybody just lies.
Here's the other thing. Yet again, the difference between our show and theirs, outside of like viewership numbers, is that nothing here is scripted. It's just off the cuffs. We talk about what we talk about, and whatever happens, happens. Nothing is scripted. It's all real, because we understand that unless you do a bit and you're being funny, people don't like it when you're trying to do a show and present yourself as real, but you have to just script it. This isn't reality TV. It's life.
Right, and when you put together something that is so utterly contrived that it's very clear that it's being scripted. The fact that even what we just watched with Boogie, Boogie didn't seem too outraged that his address was on the screen. He didn't seem too outraged that his full name was up there, because they said, "Hey, what's your middle name?" And he yelled Jason, and they said, "All right, well, how old are you?" And he confirmed he was born in 1974. Like he is very very quick to own up to everything that's being presented. he's not trying to hide himself.
To be fair, in that instance, you can't really lie when the evidence is there.
No, but you get
It's
what
also
I mean.
public record too.
Right, but you get what I mean, though. Boogie, usually there's a few more layers to the bullshit with Boogie.
If you really want an example of stuff being scripted, I would reference the cancer stuff because Keemstar knew that was a gold mine, and Keemstar knew that he could present it as maybe he has it, maybe he doesn't, because he has the records.
Right.
And in that case, that you can like that being scripted. And
does Keemstar live anywhere in the South or the Southern Midwest? Is he wear wings and Jimmy the Fridge and all these?
I thought he was in the last I checked, I think he was in like Buffalo, New York.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he's still there. Honestly, Keemstar I got bored with really quickly because I think I described him pretty well. He surrounds himself with miscreants and he feels like he's the king when in reality he's just a balding gnome.
Yeah, and Boogie is really not all that exciting. But it's the same old shtick with Boogie. Once upon a time, I think that it was fun. The cancer stuff was fun. Unfortunately, watching him be a terrible partner to that girl of his. All of the reasons that you wouldn't want to watch Boogie is what makes Boogie entertaining. But when he gets on the screen and he starts hamming it up and trying to play this character, that's where you lose me. Because Boogie is just he doesn't have the charm that he once did.
He tries to be Keemstar Jr. sometimes, and it's really cringe.
Right, and look, at least if our show stinks, it's stinking off the cuff. We're not sitting here and scripting things, but at least we come on and we say, okay, look, we have these couple of things to discuss. I'm thinking about doing some lesser with the clips. And if we do use clips, I'll maybe we use them a bit more sparingly.
I don't even think using the clips is bad. I mean, who are these podcasts goes through clips? I think if you have good banter, and I think our banter is good. If we have good banter, I think the clips are fine. But I look, you want to script stuff, that's fine. But you can't script stuff or have things that are scripted and then try to present your show as real. Because the second people figure out, or it's like, and me and you know this, it's talk radio. The second we can smell a bit in numerous places, we start to question what is real and what is a bit.
Right, and Howard Stern did this excellently. You could never tell on the air what was a bit and what wasn't a bit. But when podcasters do this stuff, especially with I really think that Keemstar is trying to do is, like you said, he kind of has like this sort of reality show thing going on. He wants the dancing monkeys, he wants the big fat guys to exploit themselves. And I guess at least in that case, there is something going on. There is some substance to the show.
Yeah.
If you want to call it a show. And I'm not giving that a pass. But what I'm saying is I feel like when you and I come on here, Jimmy, we have an idea of what we want to talk about. Regardless if the live stream is going to be the best route for now or not, we're still keeping up with it. We're still rolling with it. I might want us to switch primarily to YouTube in the future. But the reason I bring any of this up is because I will look through Boogie passing out and I will clip that up and we will have that at a later date. I just want to show you this real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on Tommy Two Eyes, on Tommy Cross Eyes, but Tom was on this morning. And speaking of people that are just absolutely nothing burgers as human beings, Okay, as a guy who, Jimmy, he was on a talk radio. Okay, he claims to be a stand-up comic for 20 years, and maybe this is a broken record on my end. But you would think you were this politically astute guy. You run this podcast with a whole panel. You claim to be a comedian. You don't sit around and you know you do open mics, you do stand up. You don't sit around and think about like what could be funny. You don't turn on the news and see like what Trump's up to and you know maybe something to write about. You don't have anything to prepare for a show. I'm not saying you. You always have stuff.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to ask you about you know somebody or another, you would be able to have something. You need more quarters? They're in the they're in the thing, dear. In the white container.
I would have something, or in the very least, I could research it. Or I would ask you to give me a quick like rundown of the person, and then I can play off of it.
Right, but what I'm saying is that you have something on your mind. You have a bit. You know, you read news stories throughout the day. You have somewhat of an idea of wanting to come on to the show and say, here's 3 or 4 things I'd like to get to tonight, and then we do. By and large, we do. And to sit here and look at this chucklefuck, who, by the way, has still not purchased StreamYard.
This is the same guy who's traveled all over the country, been to numerous countries around the world. All of these accolades, a comic for 20 years and all of that. And where is he residing now? I think in his parents' basement or some basement. And I have to say, man, what a sad fucking legacy. You've been a comic for that long, or I put air quotes around a comic. Like, that's sad, man. And, it goes back to what we said. I'm not going to act like every show is perfect, but if it's not scripted or anything like that, it's not going to be perfect. It's more real. There is some degree of structure, unless we decide to do a show to where we just riff, but even then, that's technically structured. It's just you don't know where the conversation's going.
No, if we went on here and and this is a good idea, okay? Because the fact that we don't have a lot of people watching live, and I've said this to Tom Myers. I said, look, sometimes we have 0 people watching live. I make jokes about it. We start talking about something, we see one person leave, and I think, well, fuck, there we go. we've both admitted this before.
Yeah.
And I will talk about Jimmy, broadcasting out of a dungeon, and I'll tell him to spruce up, and we make jokes.
Yeah.
But what I really think is so contrived about Tom Myers, and we'll just fucking pull him up on the screen. We will look at this goofy dweeby fuck. Here he is. The issue, the fucking StreamYard watermark still in the corner. He's still not paying for it. And I've noticed that the streams are varying lengths. Like today, he was on for an hour and a half. And what's crazy is this is not a show, but he's on for an hour and 25 minutes. Periodically reminding the little audience that he does have, the microscopic drivel of folks who are looking to watch a Tom Myers program. This is what he reminds us of. All throughout the show.
Well, thank you. Chad's missing upper lip. These usernames you come up with are absolutely hilarious. I did enjoy my interview with Blind Mike. I thought he and I kind of patched things up quite nicely, despite.
So he's just reading the chat. He's just, he's just kind of winging it. He doesn't really know what to say. And as it goes on here, he mentions the fact that there's people who criticize him, Jimmy. He's talking about people who dare criticize him because, I'm not doing a show. Why are you telling me that I do a bad show? I'm not doing a show. He's pulling an Opie. But Opie doesn't come out and say it. Tom fucking outright just admits it.
Cat knows. Steel Toe has.
Hold on.
Can go ahead and write it, get enough material so that I can put out another album, and then I don't know. I might to answer Equal Pineapple's question. I'll do something with this live stream, maybe. The watch hours definitely are going up with the podcast. But I
am. So he's talking about the possibility of maybe he'll make some more material. Maybe he'll put out an album. What a fucking album that would be. Maybe he'll do something with this live stream. Stop talking about it, Tom. Just fucking do it. You're already sitting here. Just do a goddamn show. You're already here. You have a green screen. We see the Baltimore, sky rise behind you, and then the aquarium and everything. Just go ahead and do a local news show.
I also have to point out, whether you're doing a show or not, we're criticizing you. So if you don't call it a show, it doesn't mean we can't criticize you. If anything, we get to criticize you more. It just means that you're just running up the watch time like a stupid idiot.
Right. And, it's like running up the watch time. Okay, I'll tell you something right now. I will take a look at our watch time. I don't think we have a very miraculous watch time. It would take 20 fucking years for us to worry about the watch time on YouTube. Okay, if it begins to happen one day, then frankly, wonderful. It begins to happen. But the entire time we're on here, we're trying to figure out what's going to get people to tune in. What's going to get people to enjoy our stuff, to care. I'm looking to put out some shorts. Maybe, just put out like 5-minute clips of things that are going on the show. Anything to trigger some kind of interest in what's happening. And Tom, he just fucking lollygags about what he may do.
I am getting a decent amount of downloads and listen, so there's definitely been some growth with the podcast.
Holy fuck. So look,
I mean,
he was on
so
for
to
an
answer
hour
your
and a
question,
half, he
Eagle
had
Pineapple, this
206
is more.
views. So Tom is getting somewhere. Tom is, he's building an audience. I can't say that he's not. He's building an audience by doing a whole lot of nothing.
I'm just kind of fucking around here. I know I need to have a little bit more of a professional setup.
Pay for StreamYard,
successful. This I know.
Pay for StreamYard and just take the windshield. Take that goofy fucking thing. You're not a singer. Take that goofy fucking thing off of the mic, and you're fine, Tom. You're overthinking it. The setup that you have is fine. Just do something. Stop saying that it's not a show and make it a show. I'm begging you.
You look like Nigel Thornberry's jobless brother. Fuck.
Just call it the fucking Tom Myers show. Get guests. Talk
the little
about things.
Green hue around me. You can see my green screen. I'm actually close to, hopefully close to trying to resolve that. I'm looking for a new, it will come with time, Eco Pineapple. I am going to work with this interface that my friend Christine Knowlton recommended for me.
Interface, dude, just when you buy StreamYard and you click, I'm using a green screen, the AI fixes that stuff for you. What does he need an interface? Well, watch, I can right now, not that I have a green screen behind me, but you don't even need to have a green screen behind you. Just put some things, have a room in your home. There you go. See, look at that. Look at that. I have no green around me, Tom. I manage to have nothing around me. I don't need it. I just, I don't need a screen in the background. I just kind of do whatever. Fuck's sake. Yeah, we're going to have to get a Venmo so Jimmy can buy some curtains.
We just need to get curtains.
Just move the whole thing. You have 4 bedrooms in that fucking place. I've been saying this forever. Just take a time. Just make like a little makeshift, thing in your rooms.
Well, no, I have been. I thought all the electric was working in my place. The spot that I dedicated to my office doesn't have electric working in it.
Oh shit. Okay.
So I have to do some. So that's why I haven't moved it in there, because there'd be no point for me to get it all moved in there and then no lights or anything.
Shit. Oh, okay. Well, I guess once you get all the light, all the
Electrical working
in the home, yeah. Once everything's up in the house, you'll be able to, have a little. But still, the point is, it's a work in progress. You've had the house for a little under a year. You're still figuring it out.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's the green screen that's not working out for Tom. I don't think that it's look. You have 206 viewers. You know how good it would make us feel if we knew that we had 206 people watching our show.
That'd be
So
cool.
you already have a show, Tom. And I'm going to pull it back up on the screen here because I'm going to show you that I have a theory, okay? But we're just going to keep going here.
Any attention, and yet is one of his last YouTube live streams.
See, this looks like a show to me.
It is a show.
like what the fuck is Tom talking about? This is a show. You getting on and lollygagging and saying, oh, well, I don't really have much to talk about, but here's my Venmo, and I'm going to get my watch time, and, oh, by the way, Aaron, this is a show, Tom. I'm only saying this to you because I know that it bugs you when people critique you. I know that you have said to me in the chat several times that how big of a deal you are and how much of a nobody I am. And I was trying to be nice. I've sent you an email. I could hit you up on your Instagram. I have made every official overture to get you onto this program. And it has been quite the wind chill in response. So, look, Tom, God bless you. Keep doing your show. Keep doing your show. Get banned from a few more chats. As a matter of fact, I hope you start fucking with Anthony Cumia. I hope Anthony Cumia discovers who you are. And then we'll really be off to the races.
Yeah, that will be bad for him.
My God. You know what I think would be a good business model?
What?
As Scorch begins to find the various dive bars in Wisconsin that he's going to tour this summer, maybe Tom Myers should headline the clubs with Scorch. So Scorch shows up at the club. So Scorch shows up to the bar, and the entertainment for the night is Tom Myers.
They should. That would be good content for this channel, I would have to say.
Does the fave? I guess I shouldn't say the bar that you regularly perform at, but we can. The favorite bar.
Yes.
Speaking of dives, okay, that's a place where where townsfolk don't even travel into. But is there an official email for the fave? Is there any official contact info?
I'm pretty sure I could ask the manager, because I have the manager's number.
Do you think we could get an email sent out to Tom Myers? Do you think that
I could get something worked out for real if you want to do that?
Could we pretend to book Tom Myers?
Let me figure something out.
Would you shit your pants if he showed up?
Yeah, because at that point I confront him. I would make sure you have all the screenshots sent to me of you messaging him, and I would be a confrontation.
Holy shit! Because think about it, maybe he could do a little tour. He could play, somewhere in Colorado. He could come up, hit Rapid. It'd be good for. I know Tom would not want to go to South Dakota right now because he's a big liberal moron and he doesn't like Kristi Noem and he doesn't like Pete Ricketts and etc. Yeah. But we can try. We can try to book Tom. You know what? I'll even make it sound better for him. We will book Tom. We will somehow figure out how to get maybe the 120 will book Tom as a joke. Maybe we can make a fake email address for an establishment that does not even exist in town. we could book him in like the Bluff somewhere.
Maybe we try to book him for a business meeting.
Yeah. We book him for a business meeting, and we say that we are the club owners. We say that we're the promoters of this club, and we want to speak with Tom on StreamYard in a private meeting.
I would have to have someone create like a website and stuff like that. Something. I would have to. If we're gonna really do this, I would have to recruit someone to do that.
Do you think Tom's that smart? Do you think we just can't post pictures of any bar in the Panhandle?
Well, I'm just saying, just in case he gets smart, we have it.
Right. I guess that's a good point. If he decides in his 50 years of life to finally begin making some observations, we'll have to play it as safe as possible.
Yeah.
This fucking guy really does rattle my gears. But I think it's interesting, though, that Tom, after all this time, I guess because, WATP and some other people have made fun of him, that he's finally now falling into, let me just do a podcast. Let me just do a live stream and see what happens. See if people love me, if people hate me. And it's kind of he's kind of taken the lazy way out. But, fuck. It is what it is.
Yeah. I think with that, man, I think I'm going to call it a night.
All right, man. And next time we resume, I will have the broken down structure of this outing with Boogie. And just maybe we will finally hear from Tom, and some other fun stuff we'll do heading into Sunday. But for now, Jim, have a good night.
You too.